Good morning, BookTube. My name's Nadine. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you some of my recent reads. It has been ages since I have done this. My reading has really taken a bit of a dive lately. I'm hoping to get my mojo back now that the little ones are back to school. But yeah, so this is my recent reads. Jane Austen July. That's how long it's been. I only managed to read 2 of my books. The first one I read, I wasn't even on my TBR, and it was the Jane Austen Diet, Austen Secrets to Food, Health and Incandescent Happiness by Brian Kozlowski. It was this one. I don't have the physical to show you. So the author, he looked at Jane Austen's writings through her novels and her letters to find clues as to what she would have thought of as health and beauty. Because if you look at Austen's books, lots of body shapes are represented and they're all represented in a positive light, unless you're a bad person. So yeah, it was quite refreshing actually to read something that said you don't have to be, a size whatever. We've all got different builds, so we all have different needs physically in order to be healthy, and actually that is what makes you beautiful, is just being healthy. So yeah, there was lots of positive things in this book. Common sense stuff like sugar, that was a luxury in Austen's time, not slapped in everything like we have it now, and that we should just be a bit more mindful about where we're putting things like that we don't actually need it all, and perhaps it's an idea to wean off it a little bit. But there was also a lot of things that for the modern person, I don't think it's possible, really. I don't have nursemaids to look after my children for me while I go hiking in the morning. I can't go for a 3-mile walk or visiting friends and running errands for 2-3 hours before I have breakfast in the morning, because I'm up at 5 every morning, work or not, because my children are early risers naturally, the a-holes. So I'm looking after them, and if you've got work as well, that's like another thing. No, we don't live next door to our workplaces, and let's face it, women now, we work. Thank God, we don't have to rely on men and horrible marriages to support us and our children. So hooray for that. But the author in this book, he states that you should wait for a couple of hours after you get up in the morning to have breakfast. And in Austen's day, that would have been a time where women would generally have gone for long walks and ran errands and visited with people. And then you would have a large meal in the middle of the day. That was your main meal of the day, which makes sense physically. But, I work in healthcare, I do 12-hour shifts. I will be completely honest, there is very little chance. We are so short-staffed, we are so struggling now. There is very little chance that I even, during that shift, have the chance to use the facilities. Never mind about having, a large dinner in the middle of the day. That is not happening. And then a light snack in the evening. So yeah, there's lots of things in there that don't work, but it was an interesting read, and it was nice to hear Austen's thoughts on health coming up. Let's see if I can get up the other ebook that I read. Oh yeah. Yeah. Spellbound in Salem by Millie Taden. This was book 1 in the, what's it called, Casters and Claws series. So I picked this to fit in with my Massachusetts read, but I didn't finish it in time. But I have to finish things if possible. It has to be I mean, if it was a physical book, I don't think I would have picked it up again, but because it was on there, I did. I gave it 1 star. So it's about there's a society in Salem that want to wipe out all of the witches. And so they track down the descendants of the witches who were executed during the witch trials. And they're going to hunt them down and kill them all. The sheriff of the town gets tipped off about this. And so he goes to one of the women, Raven Bishop, to put her under protection, and he dispatches other people to protect the others. But he immediately recognises her as his mate because he is a shifter, and so they have this mate sense. The storyline of the society, that could have been really good had it been explored more, but actually the book was more about, well, not even will they, won't they, because it was clear from the get-go that they would. And I'm not against romance, but I just think it was kind of crudely handled and just not really for me. I finished it. I won't continue with the series. So that's the e-booky type things sorted. The other book I read for Jane Austen July was Persuasion, and I loved this. This followed Anne Elliot. Now, Anne, 6 years prior to the events in this book, she had the opportunity to marry the love of her life, and she turned him down because she was persuaded by her family that it was not a good match, and that it wasn't a good match for the family. But she never forgot him. And then now she is given the opportunity to be away from her family and mixing with other stronger women of the time. And she starts to come more into her own. She starts to become more of an independent thinker, an independent woman, or as independent as you could be in this time period. And she's given another chance at love. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this, much more than I was expecting to. I mean, I always expect to enjoy Austen, but yeah, I love this. This is going to the top of my Austen loves. I don't think it's beat Emma for me. I don't think anything could, but I really, really did love that. Also, ages ago, I read Later by Stephen King. I've been meaning to do a review of this for about 4 months probably, but I keep thinking I'll do it later. So yeah, Stephen King, Later. This was, for him, a really short book, and I consumed this in like 2 days. It was so good. The pacing was spot on. This starts off with a little boy, Jamie, who can communicate with the recently deceased, and he is encouraged by his mother to hide this ability because it makes her very, very uncomfortable until it suits her needs. And then other people discover that he has this ability too, and unfortunately there are not very nice people out there, and they use him for their own requirements. Jamie is also plagued by the spirit of a psychotic killer. I think it was a psychotic killer. It was a while ago that I read this. Who, unlike other ghosts, doesn't just fade away after a few days, but he keeps coming back to Jamie. This was an excellent book. I really, really enjoyed this. Like I said, 2 days, I finished this. It was fantastic. And then finally, the last one I have to talk to you about was A Princess of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the first in the John Carter books. This was very kindly sent to me by Michael K. Vaughan, and I'm pleased that I watched his videos where he spoke about this before I read it, because at times it was very slow, but I went in expecting that. And there is lots of fun stuff still in this. I'm looking forward to continuing with the series. So this follows John Carter, who is a soldier during the Civil War, maybe? I'm not sure. He was a soldier. He was fighting some peeps, and he went, he got backed into a cave. Again, this is a while back. He was backed into a cave where he passed out. And then when he woke up, he was on Mars. And I just, oh gosh, the amount of times stuff like that happens to me, and it is just awful. But he dealt with it admirably. You know, he really rose to the occasion. He found that on Mars, he had extra abilities that the Martians didn't have, which he used to full effect. There's different factions of Martians, and they're fighting against each other, and there's a whole civilization there. Yeah, it was a really, really fun read. As I said, it was quite slow at times and a bit sort of, oh, come on, let's get on with it now. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to getting on with it, The Gods of Mars. I'm intrigued after how the first one ended, how it's continuing in the next one. So this will go straight back up onto my TBR shelf, which is there. And I will hopefully get to it soon. So, and look at the length of this new phone. That's good. Lately, I've only been able to manage sort of 5-6 minute videos before my phone died. So I'm really, really pleased that I've got this new phone now, and I can talk to you again for longer because I missed making videos. So yeah, I'm in the middle of approximately 5,000 books at the moment, so I should have more to talk to you about soon. And what have I got coming up tomorrow? I've been tagged in several things over the last 2 years as well. I might do something like that tomorrow. And I've got my Victober video coming up. I'm just waiting for some books to be delivered that I ordered for that. So yeah, loads of things to do. So I will speak to you again very, very soon. I'll chat tomorrow. Bye.